I don't think you can understand codependency properly unless you understand complex trauma. Because codependency is one of the symptoms that comes out of complex trauma. In the extreme case, complex trauma leads to deep shame, which leads to extreme responses to that shame. And the most severe response as far as overcompensating is a narcissist who thinks they're better than everybody. But in order for a narcissist to be in a relationship, we show that there has to be a co-narcissist, and they tend to be at the other end of the shame as far as how they respond. Same amount of shame, just totally different response, hate themselves, very low self-esteem. Tonight I want to go into the patterns that happen in codependent relationships. So I'm going to talk a bit more about the extreme with the narcissist, the co-narcissist. But the point that I want you to understand about codependency was it's two people with shame issues trying to solve their shame problems. And what they do is they try to be there and fix the other person so that that other person will then love them and meet their needs and help fix their shame. So both people are trying to fix the other person in order to try to get their own needs met and to solve their own shame problems and to get the love and respect they've always wanted. So codependent relationships are what are called the dance of wounded souls. So it's two wounded people dancing, trying to figure out how to get their needs met, how to manipulate the other person. And so in order for that to work, you need a helper and you need somebody who's needy, or you need a narcissist or a co-narcissist. Let me go to the helper or the narcissist role. They tend to be attracted to 4 different types of people that all have something in common. So the first is they're attracted to wanting a relationship with somebody who's really impressive. So the president of a company, the millionaire, whatever. So now that they're connected to and they can kind of draw from that person's greatness and it reflects on themselves. The second one is somebody that is just full of praise and admiration and compliments, and they're constantly feeding the narcissist the stuff that they need to make them feel good. And then the trophy. Somebody they can put on their arm that makes them look really good because they're beautiful, because they're just such a wonderful person. They're looking for that person. And then the fourth is somebody who will put up with their crap and not leave them. And they will, once their true colors come out, not get rid of them, but hang in there with them. So narcissists, the helper person, looks for people like that. The co-narcissist or the needy person, they're attracted to somebody who's full of charm and confidence, and they come across as appearing very strong and very full of self-worth and bold, all of those things that make this personality look like, wow, this guy's got it together. And they're attracted to that. And so those two people find themselves. Now, what I want to now go into is the pattern that begins to happen. And this isn't in your notes. I just want to show it to you. So there's really 3 parts to the pattern. And so what many of you are going to see is your relationships. And it might be different face, same pattern. Different face, same pattern. And so basically 3 parts. The idealizing stage, then the devaluing stage, and then the discard stage. And that's what I want to walk you through and help you understand how codependent relationships normally work themselves out. So it begins with stage 1, or the idealizing stage, or the grooming stage. This is the stage that is full of excitement, intensity. It is just sizzling. It is so hot. And so what you got to remember is that word grooming. Now, grooming is a technical word that means It's used in abuse. And what it means is, how does a person get past the other person's natural defenses and guards to get that person to like them and then trust them? And so another way to look at this is grooming is really kind of the ultimate salesperson. They got to be really good at convincing this guy they're wonderful and getting this person to believe them and trust them and buy their product. That's the grooming stage. So number one is mirroring. And again, it's a technical term, and it goes like this. I don't know if you've ever been on a date and you say, I really like country music. And the other person says, really? I do too. Wow, I love country. And you go, you know what? I'm thinking of becoming vegan. And they go, really? So am I. And before you know it, they like exactly what you like. They're mirroring back. They're listening to what you like and then mirroring back to you as if they like it, so that you say, we have so much in common. I think we could have a great relationship. Meanwhile, they go home and have a steak, and they listen to hardcore rock music, but not when they're with you. They're mirroring you. So the early days in the relationship is they are asking questions to find out what you like, and they're taking notes so that they can present a package to you that you go, we have so much in common. Okay? Next one, love bombing. So in understanding love languages, you can show love to a person by saying loving things to them, by giving them gifts, by making acts of sacrifice for them, by doing stuff that is a sacrifice, by giving them focused quality time and giving them lots of physical affection. So what happens in love bombing is the person, he says all the nicest things in the world. He gives you gifts. He makes all kinds of sacrifices. You know what? Let me pay for that. Let me come over in the middle of the night and help you, and all of that. And then when you talk, they give you focus, like you're the most interesting person in the world, and they give you lots of physical affection. They just bomb you with love. And so what they are counting on is that you will connect with one of those five. And when you connect, you're going to go, I feel so loved. And you're going to go, this is wonderful. And your oxytocin's going to start spurting in your brain, and you're going to just feel great. Next one, offering lots of emotional support. So they listen, but they don't just listen. They listen with, I'm there for you. I want to be supportive of you. You feel free to text me, and you feel free to call me if you're struggling. I'll come rushing over, and they listen and they support you and say all kinds of encouraging things. Then they're very charming. They're funny. They're cute. They're always positive. They're very sweet, considerate, thoughtful, all of those things. That's what they do. And they have got that down to an art. Okay. Now, let me just stop and say this. If you got your notes there, just put a little bracket beside them and say, red flags. If I see a guy that's this charming and is love bombing me this way, red flag. Okay, now it really gets to the red flags next. Okay, so the next two become kind of the main red flags. So number one, they rush intimacy. So they want you to open up about everything. They want you to tell them lots and lots of stuff. They want to know every detail about your day. They are pushing you and pushing you for information. I tell clients all the time in teaching them the natural development of healthy relationships, from an acquaintance to a very close soulmate type friend, you're looking at 6 months to a year. What you have in a codependent relationship is 1 day to 6 days. Then what they're doing is they're pushing you for sex. And then once they get that, then they're pushing you to move in together. So they're pushing for an established relationship.